Hi, good evening. Welcome to the Valley View. This is Salem's only TV talk show. My name is Carol Simila.
I'm Kim Brosh.
And we have a very special guest this evening who is Rob Conahay.
Howdy.
He's from the Kaiser CERT organization, which stands for Community Emergency Response Team. And you know, this is such an exciting topic and so timely because we've just had this huge two natural disasters and an atomic disaster right across the big pond in Japan. And the topic here is community emergency response. And I think, you know, that really has made, I think, all of us start to think, what if it happened here? I mean, it did sort of happen here. It happened in Brookings.
Right. And is there anything that we can do to help? That's what people want to know.
Exactly. I think there's a natural impulse. So, lo and behold, we found out here's this organization. Actually, we booked this before the disaster, and here you are, right on time, right on cue. So, Community Emergency Response Team. What is that?
Okay, what that is we train folks to take care of themselves, their neighbors, their neighborhood, and ultimately the community. And so this gives you the thing you're qualified to do: light search and rescue and help out. So, and obviously the first priority is obviously yourself, your family, and your residents, then your neighbor, then your street, then your neighborhood, your block, and there.
So, so you start locally.
Right. So the idea is that you will probably be on your own for up to 72 hours in the event of a disaster, such as what happened in Japan or in Chile, Haiti, maybe even in San Francisco during the Loma Prieta earthquake, the LA Northridge quake, that Katrina. A lot of people think, oh, the pros, but well, for good or bad, sometimes the pros, it's going to take them a while to get there due to, number one, the damage, and two, the roads. They may not be able to get through due to the power lines, trees, flooding.
We've had some flooding recently, not too long ago. So.
Well, you know, and I think the thing that really struck me about this whole thing in Japan, I mean, if anybody, you know, because of their, you know, it's a small geographical area, they have advanced technology, they have plenty of money. If they can't meet everybody's needs, then who can? I mean, obviously, we have to be more self-reliant. So
one of the things that we stress is you should have yourself a 72-hour kit, so you're ready to go and be able to access that, and you can put one together yourself. There's I believe you can go to the CERT website, I think Red Cross websites, disaster preparedness, or you can just call your local fire department and everything.
Oh, okay. What is in your 72-hour kit?
Mine has, well, actually I've got several things, but I haven't finished putting it together into a central kit yet. I will be honest with you, but I have.
You teach it, but you haven't quite done it.
Yeah.
Would it all fit in there? Would it all fit in one backpack?
Probably it could. I've got several bags at home that I'm slowly putting stuff together because unfortunately, well, I should say as a volunteer, there's other stuff that I have going on. So yes, I have I have not been as diligent as I should be. I will be honest with you. That is something we have talked about maybe for CERT of doing like a community event where people can come put your kit together. And I know we did have a workshop, and it was amazing how one of the fire district employees, I believe it's you're the office manager, I believe, she has a kit where everything fits together, and it's really amazing.
Modular kit.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, do you include food in that?
Yes, you do.
So you've got 72 hours worth of food as well.
Exactly, and
that's
plenty
something.
of water.
And water.
And the other thing too that I have, and I've instructed my family to do it, and I tell everybody as well, is your prescription labels on any prescription medicine you take. You save those and you put those on a piece of paper, and you keep a copy of that as well as in the safety deposit box in the air, because again, in a disaster, should you run out of medication, I am told that you let the health department know and you show them that list that they can see that your prescriptions will be filled. You should also have plenty of your medicine, but again, we all know
it could get washed away or something.
It could get washed away, or maybe that the 30-day supply that unfortunately the disaster happens right about the time it's scheduled to be refilled, and so.
Well, now this this whole concept of a community emergency response team, I understand that came out of a a local effort somewhere else, and then grew into a big U.S. national organization.
That is my understanding, that it was as a result of a big earthquake. My understanding was either as a result of a Los Angeles earthquake or the Mexico City earthquake. I'm not sure which, but anyway, there were so many people after they heard about it, they wanted to come down and were eager to help, and they went in to help, but unfortunately they didn't know, say, the right ways to do it. So in their eagerness to help, they maybe could have caused more problems, more injuries than, so then the idea of CERT was born, that you take a class, or you take a training course, I should say, rather. In the case of Kaiser, we're 8 weeks, 1 night a week, for 8 weeks, and then you also take at the end of it, you also take a 100-question test, and you need to pass that with, I believe it's 70 to 80%, and then we also have what's called a final drill, which is a simulated exercise where you put everything to work and grade. Because as I understand, at one time, and it may still be the case, in some parts of the country for CERT, and this is not a criticism of them, but some of them you just, okay, you come to class, you cover the material, boom, you're done. And I'm like, no. With us, it's just, ours is a regular hands-on actual class. And then also, besides doing the classroom, we also have stuff where you learn to use the fire extinguishers. We train on the backboards and do splinting, and we do the assessments. We do what is called triage, which basically that's determining, if anybody's seen MASH at the beginning of the episode, when the casualties come in, they go, okay, this one's first, this one's second, which I believe triage comes from the French word, which means to sort, which means people that are the worst off go first, and then we also do the thing with the different colors of the tape, where you tag somebody of the different colors of most urgent to the one that
you sort them by color too.
Yes, we sort them by color, exactly.
How practical.
And as we say, there's also the black color, which unfortunately is
gone.
The deceased. Yes, the gone.
Don't bother with that one.
Don't bother with them. That again, I don't mean to sound cold, but yes.
Right.
And how to set up the treatment area.
Wow, it's a lot more than a first aid class.
Yes, it is definitely. And I will be honest with you, and I also help out with the classes there in Kaiser, since I took the course. And as I tell the new classes, the first 2 or 3 you may seem a little overwhelming, that 1 week it's this and that, but it does come together. And then we also encourage the class to form a team and to do practices outside of class before the final drill, because that way you can see what areas you're strong in, what areas you're weak in, what you're confused about, and that really helps you in the final drill. And the final drill, we make it very close to the real thing, and it can be, as I know in my class of a final drill, made a little mistake, and we have people that are there as monitors, and for mine I got called out on, and actually had to sit out briefly with like a sprained ankle, and unfortunately that's one less person, but again, it's one of those things, you better to make it realistic and experience that in the drill than in the real thing.
Sure.
So they pretended that you had a sprained ankle?
Yes.
Okay, so that you were out of the picture.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because that's one thing we stress, that when we do the fire extinguishers and the other stuff, is you usually have a partner, so you don't go off and do stuff alone, and you two watch out for each other. And again, so then, should there be a problem?
What happens if your partner's missing? Then then you have to do it anyway, probably.
Right. And also that way the partner is the extra set of eyes and ears, so it can hopefully pull you out, or preferably prevent you from going into the situation.
Where you get a sprained ankle.
Yes,
Yeah.
sprained ankle or worse.
Yeah.
Well, so you're with the Kaiser CERT organization. And I guess they have them in Salem.
Yes,
and
they have
Polk
the Salem
County?
one. Salem has one. Polk County has one. I believe Marion County has one. There's also another group that started, that's out in very South Salem, I think, almost to the end of Salem. I want to say, well, not quite Turno. It's Chinook Estates. which I think may be out near Battle Creek, I think, or somewhere in that general vicinity, that they wanted to start their own, and they did, and they came to us, and us meaning Kaiser, and we trained them. And
well, that's
so
a good
you can
idea
do that. You
for
can
a
just say,
neighborhood.
you know, yeah, my neighborhood, we want to be trained.
I'll give you the honest answer. I honestly don't know what the procedure is on that. That was probably something you would need to check with the.
Like how many? What's the critical mass
The
that
middle-
you need to
minimal
have?
number, yeah.
To have a CERT group. Does it
Yeah,
have to be a city or a half a city or?
You know, there again, I'll give you the honest answer. I don't know. I know that Silverton and Woodburn, I believe, have started or want to start theirs, and so they're asking to. I think what we're doing is we're helping to train the people that will, besides actual team members, but also I believe we are training the people that will later be the trainers there, and they can go forth. And I think right now we have a group from Hubbard in our class.
Oh.
And so.
Yeah, the national website said there's one in Mount Angel, too.
Oh, that's
so,
cool.
yeah, they talked a lot about the national website for Community Emergency Response Team, which if you Google it, it'll take you right there and shows, you know, all the different, there are these teams in every state and possessions or whatever, all those other areas that, that the U.S.
Are they in Europe too? Do the Europeans have something?
You know,
similar?
I honestly do not know. I
Or
would think that
they
they
do
would
other
have
countries. Yeah.
They may have something similar, but I would think they would, or hopefully they will. And
Hopefully
That's
they're
great.
they're prepared also. So so now there's something happening on April 21st.
yes, right now Kaiser, we are doing our spring class right now, and we have a class of 30, which is very good size for us. I think that's one of the largest classes we have. I believe Salem's is also going right now, and I think they have about 40 people in theirs.
Great.
But on the 21st of April, I believe that's the date. I will, if there's a change, I will definitely let you folks know. That is when we have what is called the final drill, which is where all 8 weeks, everything you've learned in class, all the things, you get to put that together and go out and do it. And we, in doing final drills, we need folks who want to come down and be victims.
So all of you victim type people
Yes.
out there,
Yeah.
People
this
who
is
have,
it.
I was going to say people who are actors or always wanted to be an actor.
Or have a victim mentality.
Exactly. And what we have what is called a moulage kit, which is basically makeup, where we'll make you up and have it so that you have lacerations, scars, bleeding,
Wonderful.
puncture wounds for
Wow.
a 2x4 in you. It's very realistic,
Yikes.
very good. And I believe they will either give you what the scenario is, or they'll let you, in the
Make up.
acting part thing, let you improvise, and that way the CERT,
invent your own disaster.
right, that way the CERT people can do the thing and evaluate, and then following that, and I think there's usually food and drinks for the folks, and then afterwards, after the final drill, what we do for the classes is we have what's called a debriefing, where the class members, you come back and sit around the table, and you go around the table and you express what you experienced, your feelings, and it's led by the trainer. And he said that's what they do in the real, in their regular everyday things, and they found that that is very helpful, because they have found that what happens with a lot of people is, even in just a mock one, you can get a lot of stress, anxiety, and you really get caught up in it, and that helps. They have found over the years that with I hate to keep saying professionals, but the professional folks, that they never used to have, but they found that has become very helpful for them and easier to deal with things, and so definitely for the class. Yeah, decompress, exactly.